One of the top questions I get asked about YouTube ads is, how long should my YouTube ad be? Now, there are a lot of theories and conversations about this, and really it depends on who you talk to. I wanted to chime in and share with you what we're currently seeing perform the best when it comes to video ad length. Just a heads up, this may be different than what a Google rep recommends, but let me just go through my experience with what we're seeing and I'll let you decide for yourself. Now, first of all, when it comes to deciding how long you want your ad to be, I think it's more important to take a step back and think, what is your goal? What does success look like for a YouTube ad? And there's different goals for different people. Maybe your goal is to get lots of impressions and views. Basically, you just want a lot of people to see the ad. That's more of a branding play, right? And that works well. Maybe your goal is to get clicks to your website, really cheap clicks and as many clicks as you can to the website. That's another goal that people are wanting to kind of grow their website. Maybe you want to go a layer up and maybe your goal is conversions. You want to generate certain leads or generate certain number of customers and really get a return on ad spend. So depending on what your goal is will dictate how long your video is. If you want to get a lot of impressions and views, you can have a shorter video. Like it could be 15 seconds or 30 seconds. You're going to get a high view rate. You're going to get a lot of views at a really low cost. If your goal is to get conversions, maybe it's leads or applications or purchases or sales, you're gonna need to have a longer video ad. Again, I would highly recommend you take a step back if you're asking this question and ask, what is your goal? What does success look like? Because again, that will dictate how long your video is. The other one comes down to, I wanna share a quick story of, we've been running ads for this client where their goal is to get leads that will then eventually turn into sales for their brick and mortar store. And their ads are crushing it. They're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on ads, and they're seeing like a 3 to 5x return on ad spend. So the ads are working really well. And we got on a call with a Google rep one time, and they're saying, and by the way, our ads, we've been doing this for years, and our ads were like 2 to 4 minutes long. So there are longer ads for videos. And these Google reps come on and they say, hey, you know what? Based off best practices, we really think you should have ads that are 15 seconds and 30 seconds long, and which went contrary to what we've seen work. One of our principles in our agency is though to work as a collaborator and not as a competitor with whoever we work with. So I said, okay, great. How about this? Let's test the shorter videos and let's test our longer form videos. And let's just say, may the best video win, right? Let's just see which one gets the highest return on ad spend, because that was the goal for the clients. They wanted to get as many sales as they could. So we went through this process and we tested their 15 and 30 second ads and we tested our longer form video ads. Guess which ones outperformed? It was the longer video ads. Why is that? Well, especially if your goal is to get somebody to purchase something, to give up time or money, it takes time for them to get enough information and to make that decision to say, hey, yes, this is worth it for me. And that really does take 2 to 4 minutes to really build enough information where people have enough confidence and trust to click and engage. And you just can't build that type of trust within 15 or 30 seconds. So when we came and we presented like, hey guys, based off this data, these longer form ads work, we're gonna continue to keep doing that. And the Google reps were like, hey, yes, that's interesting. This goes contrary to what we think works. Thanks for the feedback. We're gonna have to go and adjust what they have working. That was a story of kind of just being willing to test and see what works for you. Again, I think if your goal is to get impressions and views and clicks, for sure, the shorter videos are gonna work. You're gonna get a lot more views, maybe a lot more clicks when you're focused on when you have shorter videos that are focused on awareness. But if your goal is to get conversions or leads and sales, it does require a longer form video. In short, how long should your YouTube ad be? Well, it should be like a mini skirt. It's short enough to get people's attention, but long enough to cover the important parts. Instead of focusing on the specific length of a video, I think of what can you say that will capture people's attention? What can you say and show that will build enough trust and interest in what you have to offer? And then 3, what can you do to invite people to take action on that? Again, that could take 90 seconds It could take 5 minutes. But again, go back to what that goal is. So to kind of summarize, what's the ideal length for a YouTube ad? I think at minimum, if your goal is to get conversions, at a minimum, I think you need to be at least 90 seconds. At the biggest length, I know we've had a campaign that's run an ad that was 5 minutes long, and it was able to get conversions and see the results that we wanted it to. I think the sweet spot is between 90 seconds and like 3.5 minutes. I think within that that's your playground if you want to get conversions. Again, it's really not so much of the length of it as much as it is keeping people's attention, informing them, building that trust, and inviting people to take action. I think that's what's really critical when it comes to running your ad. So again, just to recap, go back. What is your goal when it comes to advertising? Is it impressions, views, or clicks and conversions? Because knowing that will then dictate how long your video is. I'd start there. The second one, my story with the Google reps, again, be willing to test things. I test long form and test short term and see for yourself which one works best for you and your goals, because just because this worked for us in that one instant doesn't mean that's the way it is for everybody, right? So I say test and figure it out for yourself. If I had to go back to what we do, again, I like to keep things between 90 seconds to 4 minutes. That seems to be our sweet spot. That's what we see work when it comes to getting conversions, whether that's leads or sales. So hope this video was helpful for you. I'm curious though, have you run ads? How long are those ads that you run? Do you like the shorter ones, or do you like the longer ones? If you haven't already, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what's working for you and why. I want to thank you for your time and attention watching this video. I hope it was useful. Stay tuned for this next video coming up, because I go through the 3 critical phases of video production that you won't want to miss. Thanks for watching and having a great day.